Batandwa Sonamzi, who's the principal of Belvicha Primary. Sorry, I realize I forgot to share my screen again. Let me just get that right. There we go. Oh, okay. To go back to the right. There we go. So Batandwa is a principal of Belvicha Primary School in Delft in the Cape. He's been principal there for 12 years, and he's joined the PFP community in 2017 when he became a principal partner on the PFP program. He's really one of our rising stars, I would say, here in the Western Cape. And what's really special about him is that when the COVID-19 crisis hit, he chose to not just stay and wait for Superman and wait for someone to bring him answers. He really decided to empower himself and then to work with the youth and young educators at his school, but also with his HCB and SMT, to be proactive and to really plan for the return to school, while always keeping the communication lines really open. So I'm going to hand over to you, Batandwa, now. You're welcome to show your face again and unmute, and then you can start sharing your story.
And thanks for that nice introduction. My name is Batandwa, as you would see on the screen. I've been teaching for the last 21 years, and I've been a principal for 12 years now. I teach in Delft and live in Case River in Cape Town. These are really difficult times for leaders, not only principals, but in the whole world. This coronavirus is an invisible enemy. I don't always agree with those in authorities, especially in government. But this time around, I chose to work with them because we've got a common enemy, which is this killer disease. And so what I've done after I've empowered myself, listening to people like Dr. Nandi now with the coronavirus, I decided to share the knowledge and the information, the little knowledge that I got about the coronavirus, because I thought it was very important for us, if we want to defeat this disease or to curb the spread of this virus, is to have knowledge and information. So knowledge is power. So what I've decided after I've worked with my family, because I needed to make sure that my family was aware of what I would do in terms of the information about the virus, because during lockdown, we all stayed at home. But I said to myself, I'm not going to stay forever because life has to go on. So I'm asked now by PFP today to share some safe and preventative measures that our school have put in place in order to return back to work and have children and teachers back. The first thing that I've done, of course, was to have a meeting with my school governing body on WhatsApp, a WhatsApp meeting, together with my SMT members, when we agreed on a plan. We said we need to plan, prepare, and train teachers on this coronavirus. The SGB met sometime in March, towards the end of March, to put the plan in place, and we were on lockdown then. And as Dr. Nandi would have said that during the school closure, there was no way that the school could have the virus. So we all came to agreement that there was no need for us to disinfect the school because we believed that there was no one at the school at the time. However, we decided when we heard that the Department of Education has intentions of opening schools to take an initiative and buy the PPEs for ourselves, because prominent scientists and doctors across the world have been giving recommendations as to what is it that needs to be done in order to flatten the spread of the virus. So the governing body took a decision to relook at the budget because this has financial implications as well. So we agreed to buy ourselves PPEs. We bought PPEs for all the SGB members, and we bought the PPEs for all staff members. We also bought sanitizers. And then we said, okay, now we are told they are off for the 5 golden rules. Amongst other things, we needed enough water. So we realized that at our school, we didn't have enough taps. So we immediately contracted a construction company to install 10 more taps at the school. And after we've installed the taps, we then said, okay, it was the school environment, we're convinced that is ready to receive the teachers. So from my side as a principal, what I've done, because teachers had some worries and fears, there's a lot of anxiety going on because the virus is killing and people can see that. I created a Google form and sent it to all my colleagues, trying to gauge and check their state of readiness to return back to school, and also trying to solicit their views around returning to school. I've got a very positive response from all of them, and 90% of my colleagues were ready to return back to work, only if I could assure them that the environment was safe and secure. So then my plan with the SMT was to say, look guys, let's orientate teachers. Teachers need to be retrained, or teachers need to be trained on the new normal, because everybody now was not aware of this kind of situation that we find ourselves in. Therefore, it was going to be extremely difficult to expect that teachers would know what to do. And as a principal, I had to provide leadership. So I planned the first training when the teachers return on the 25th of May. I've spent 4 hours orientating them on the COVID-19 virus, how it spread, and some of the stuff that the previous speaker alluded to. But I'm not an expert in that field of science. So I've decided to approach Life Choices, because Life Choices is an organization that I worked with previously. They were readily available to provide briefing sessions with the teachers, induction on coronavirus, and I must say that they had very knowledgeable facilitators on the field, and I think they've done their research quite well, like what the previous speaker did now. So I have them on the second day, that was Tuesday, and they did a debriefing with the staff, and staff members were open, asked questions, and they were provided answers scientifically. So from my side, I just said the school, the environment, I believe it's safe, not unless we will bring the virus to the school. So we agreed on Tuesday that, okay, it's fine. The next day we must continue again with the orientation. We took teachers out. We started now designing posters to teach children when they come back, and placing them around the school. And each and every teacher became a champion. Immediately after we have trained and orientated all staff members, including feeding scheme, food handlers, and the cleaning staff, we formulated a COVID-19 committee, which of course is led by me. And we called ourselves, we are COVID-19 champions. Even if tomorrow I'm not there, the school must continue. And I'm confident as I'm speaking here that any teacher who is working here can lead, even if I'm not there during these difficult times. So the COVID-19 was formed, and then we decided to relook at the policies, because we needed now to have a safety policy at the school. And then we consulted all the stakeholders, the governing body members. We asked them to send their inputs via WhatsApp, and also the other teachers who were unable to come, we asked their input as well. So we have concluded on the policy. We've got the policy now on return to work, which was done by all stakeholders except learners and parents. Then after that, so what we then did, we spent the whole week, first week, planning and preparing for the return of the children. All teachers were trained how to screen. Initially, I thought that screening could be done by health officials or health workers, but I was then advised accordingly that no, screening doesn't need a medical degree. You can do that even if you are not a doctor. So we bought one thermometer, and then the department provided 4, so we had 5 in total. So we trained each other about that. We started formulating small committees, a screening committee. We allocated duties to to all the individuals, and everybody knows what to do. Then what I can share with other principals is that it is extremely important to have the buy-in of all teachers if you really need to create a safe and welcoming environment during these unprecedented times. If you do not have that, it's going to be extremely difficult for you as a principal to lead during these difficult times. So we then planned to receive learners. I think it was on a Friday where we said, okay, each class teacher, because we're only going to receive grade 7, we needed to divide children into groups of 15 in each class, of course, maintaining the social distance. So we needed 9 classes, divided all the 131 grade 7 learners in those classes. We are currently planning for the return of the other grades as it would have been communicated by the DBE on the 6th of July. It's not easy, it's a new thing, but we are getting there. I can assure you that I have doubts from the parents because parents were not comfortable sending the children to the school. Then I had to write to them, indicate to them that the school was safe and the governing board was on board. Mobilizing parents is also key during this time and providing them with information and the correct information, not the fake news that they get on the social media. So for me, it was extremely important that I opened the lines of communication with my parents and with the youth around the school to share the information. And so we don't have a lot of children using transport, but we also discussed the issue of transport. We do not have control over public transport, and we're not quite certain whether they are following the protocols and the regulations. So hence we decided that when the kids come, we'll screen them, sanitize them. We bought enough sanitizers, augmenting what the department would have given us. And we have enough sanitation. We have enough taps and running water. We bought enough soap. Yeah. So when learners returned on Saturday, we were ready. We received 47 learners on the first day, and then they were divided accordingly in the classes. And I was extremely happy to see teachers doing the orientation, taking the lead in orientating learners with passion and a lot of zeal and a positive attitude. So we spent the entire week last week, last week, orientating learners. Again, Life Choices came on board to do the induction for the children. They gave more scientific knowledge on how the virus spread and also advising children about the 5 golden rules, which I think they need to stick into their head. So what we are doing, we've demonstrated these 5 golden rules practically, and we're practicing it every day. And each and every teacher is on board. We're helping each other, supervising the children, making tents during breaks. The other teachers who are not having their children yet back, they are on the ground. So we've used the paint to make the new mask for this new normal, so that children that helps us to teach them to keep the social distance, because all the prominent scientists and doctors are advising that we should keep social distancing and this washing of hands from time to time and sanitizing. So we are doing that every day. I was also asked to share about the practical examples. I think I've touched on that, on the practical examples that our school would have done. So we have been receiving a lot of guidelines from health officials, authorities, and from our own Department of Education. I think when I last checked, we have received more than close to 50 letters from our head of education, with, of course, with guidelines. So I've used them, tried to interpret them. As a principal, I needed to read, go through them, try to understand them. When they don't make sense, I throw them away to interpret what the policy would have said for the teachers. We have identified our colleagues who are having underlying conditions and have assisted them to apply for the special leave. So I'm waiting just now from the department to approve their leaves. It's only 3 of them, so the rest of us are back here, healthy, and we do not have any problems. So I would say, without wasting time, most of the things that I would have shared were shared by the previous speaker. I'm happy to engage with the questions. We can take questions. Yeah, thank you very much.